So, in the previous class, we were discussing from chapter 12, the discussion about various creations by Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, utilizing the five Ajnana Vrittis, Avidya, Asmita, Raga, Dvesha, Abhinivesha, and the 24 elements that manifested from Pradhana. He created four kinds of living entities: plants, animals, humans, and superhumans. And all these people by default, because of their Ravana identification, there is a chance of being bound in this material world and hence go through unlimited suffering. Lord Brahma was not at all happy with such kind of creation. Then, with an intention to deliver these bound conditioned souls, he made it a Supreme Lord, as a result of which the four Kumaras appeared as the teachers of four rangas of Vidya: Sankhya, Yoga, Vairagya, and Tapasya. Then he asked them to create progeny. They said, no, we cannot. Brahma became angry, but Brahma understood that these four Kumaras do not have any wrong motive. In order to teach Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, one need to be following celibacy. One need to be in renounced order. So unless until they themselves follow it, they cannot teach to others. So that was their intention. So Brahma understood and he wanted to control his anger. Before that, the anger came out of his Brukuti as Rudra, the 11 Rudras. Then Brahma told the same thing to 11 Rudras: beget progeny. They begot terrible progeny who are destroying everything that has been just created. Even they are going to destroy Lord Brahma himself. So then Brahmaji told, so my dear Rudraji, please don't do like this. It is better you don't create. Instead you perform tapasya. That will do good for you, good for entire society. And the creation will continue. The maintenance will continue. This is not the time for destruction. Please, till then, please take rest. Something like that. So Rudra said, okay, my dear father, I'll do whatever you say. He went on performing tapasya. Since then he was performing tapasya only. So then again Brahma met and Supreme Lord. Then he wanted to have the children who would increase the progeny as well as who would deliver the conditioned souls. Then 10 Manasaputras appeared. Out of 10, 9 Manasaputras appeared as the teachers of Nishkama Karma Yoga, all the wonderful Prajapatis such as Vashishta, Pulaha, Kratu, Bhrugu, Angira, Daksha, etc. And the 10th one, Narada Muni, appeared as the teacher of, as the Acharya of Bhakti Yoga. So in this way, the 6 Angas of Vidya appeared in the form of 4 Kumaras, 9 Prajapatis, and Narada Muni. Done. So then Lord Brahma also created additional things. From his front side, he created, from his chest, he created Dharma. From his back, he created Adharma. And also various factors that instigate one to practice Dharma, to practice Adharma. So the personalities who, the things which instigate Adharma is harsh speech, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Masara, death, ocean, etc. And the factor that instigate dharma is the fine speech, the words spoken by the great devotees. All these things are there. Then later on, in order to indicate the case study, how the factors instigating adharma can lead one towards adharma, and how the factors instigating dharma can lead one towards dharma. So there was a case study of Vagdevi. The Vagdevi, who appeared from Brahma's mouth, attracted Brahma's mind only, and Brahma ran after her. That is the attraction towards Kama that is being indicated there. One case study, how a person runs towards Adharma, being instigated by Kama, Krodha, Mata, etc. And then not to give a case study of how Dharma, by taking shelter of, one can take shelter of Dharma by hearing the fine words of a great soul. Who was that great soul? The great soul was Lord Kapila. And Lord Kapila appeared as the son of Kardama. Then Kardama's appearance also is mentioned. Kardama appeared from the shadow of Lord Brahma. That is also mentioned. And then it said that, so what is that Lord Kapila is going to speak? What Lord Kapila spoke is the essence of all the Vedas. But what are the Vedas? The Vedas also appeared from Brahma. From Brahma appeared 4 Vedas consisting of the dharmas for 4 varnas, 4 ashramas, and different kinds of yajnas. All these things briefly mentioned in 1 or 2 shlokas. Then Vidura asked a question. So, my dear Maitreya ji, can you please tell in detail what are those 4 Vedas appeared from the 4 mouths of Brahma? What are the 4 varnas, ashramas, 4 dharmas, 4 legs of dharma, and all these things in detail? How did they manifest? So, an answer to that, we were seeing last time that Maitreya was explaining how all these different things appeared from Brahma's various mouths. The 4 Vedas appeared from Brahma's 4 mouths. Rigveda appeared from eastern mouth, Yajurveda from southern mouth, Samaveda from western mouth, and Atharvaveda from northern mouth. Along with the 4 Vedas, the principal activities of the 4 priests in any yajna, Hota, Udgata, Advaryu, and Brahma, they also appeared along with these 4 Vedas that was mentioned. Then, from the 4 mouths of Brahma, 4 Upavedas also appeared. Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, and Stapatyam. These were the 4 Upavedas. All these 4 Upavedas also appeared from Lord Brahma's 4 mouths. That is also mentioned. And then, Itihasa Puranani Panchamam Veda Mishwaraha. All the Itihasas and Puranas. Currently, in this current Kali Yuga, we have only 2 Itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata. But we have 18 major Puranas, 18 minor Puranas. All the Itihasas and Puranas all together, they appeared from the 4 mouths of Lord Brahma. Because the Itihasas and Puranas embody the essence of 4 Vedas. Just like 4 Vedas appeared from 4 mouths, their essence in the form of Itihasa Puranas also appeared from the same 4 mouths of Brahma. And then, there are so many sacrifices, but among which 8 sacrifices are very important one. And these 8 important sacrifices appeared from the 4 mouths of Brahma. 2 appeared from eastern mouth, 2 appeared from western mouth, 2 appeared from northern mouth, 2 appeared southern mouth. They all mentioned here. So you can see these names. Agnishtoma, Apto Ryama, Ati Ratriya, Vajapeya, Gosava, etc. etc. Gosava means Gomeda Yajna, Vajapeya means horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yajna. So like that, all these different sacrifices also made their appearance from Brahma's 4 mouths. Then the 4 pillars of Dharma, which we generally study in first canto Bhagavatam, that Satyam, Saucham, Tapa, Dhaya. Satyam is there, Tapa is there. Saucham is analogous to Vidya. Dhaya is analogous to Dhanam. So in that way, the 4 pillars of Dharma made their appearance from 4 faces of Lord Brahma. That is mentioned. And then there was the appearance of 4 kinds of brahmacharis. Yeah. 4 brahmacharis are Savitri, Prajapatya, Brahmana, and Bruhat. So those who can stay as brahmachari for 3 days, those who can stay as brahmachari for 1 year, those who can stay as brahmachari till the end of the education is over, and then those who can stay as brahmachari for lifelong. See the 4 brahmacharis. And there are 4 category of grosas: Varta, Sanchaya, Shalina, and Silonchana. So Varta means those who perform their family occupation and maintain themselves. Sanchaya means those who engage themselves in performing sacrifices. Shalina means those who take alms without begging. When charity is given, they take it. They don't ask for begging, but if something is given, they take it. And Silonchana means those who survive on the fallen grains on the ground. They don't work and they don't take charity or beg. They don't beg, but something is there in the ground. They take and live based on that. Similarly, there are 4 Vanaprasthas and 4 sannyasis. Vaikanasa, Valakilya, Audumbara, and Fenana. Kutichaka, Bahavoda, Hamsa, and Nishkriya. Paramahamsa and Parivrajacharya, like that we can say. So, like that, 4 category of Vanaprasthas, 4 category of sannyasis. Basically, what are the duties they are supposed to do? All the duties are described in this Shastras. They all appeared. And then, Anvikshaki, Trayi, Varta, Dandaniti. Logic, Vedic knowledge, occupational livelihood, and law enforcement, which are similar to Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. The 4 Purusharthas appeared so that the sanity can be maintained in the entire world, human society and other society, etc. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, they are all there. Dharma is indicated in the 3 Vedas. Trayi Veda, Trividya, Mam, Soma, Papu, Padapa. Trividya means the Vedas which talk about various subject matters in 3 modes. That is called Trividya. And they basically talk about Dharma. What is Varnashram Dharma? How to execute that Varnashram Dharma? That is mentioned in this. And by executing this Dharma, we'll get Artha. We execute Dharma so that we will maintain our livelihood. But livelihood, in order to maintain that livelihood, there should be some law enforcement. So that Artha is indicated as Dandaniti. So the Artha can be maintained properly. Somebody working very hard, they have earned something and somebody else will come and steal away. That is not a good proposition. So in order to maintain sanity in the society, there is Dandaniti, the administration. And then Kama. Kama is indicated by Varta. Varta means occupations. So basically, every householder has a desire to maintain their family properly. Further, they need to follow occupation. They need to execute some duty. That is called Varta. And finally, ultimately, the human life attains perfection by attaining moksha. So the reason why we should execute various activities to attain ultimately to attain moksha is explained by Nyaya Shastras. Anvikshaki. Anvikshaki means logic or Nyaya Shastras, which establish what is the ultimate purpose of human life. That is attaining moksha. That is indicated in these Shastras. So in that way, the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, the 4 Purusharthas are explained here, indicating that Anvikshaki, Trayi, Varta, Dandaniti, all these things will help us understand what is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, and how to execute them and how to accomplish them, etc. And then the first words, the first compound words that appeared from Brahma's mouth are Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha, and their combination of Bhur, Bhuva, Swaha. These are the 4 words appeared at the very beginning of the creation from Brahma's mouth. And then all other words also appeared. So like that. I think this is where we stopped. So till this point we discussed in the last class and we continue from text number 45 onwards today. Yeah. Any questions from devotees based on the previous discussions?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Madhu.
Prabhuji, Brahma created all this creation. These are all personified means persons like Rigved, Yajurved is there because we have seen in some films that so all these things are personified entities.
Yeah, in this universe, for everything there is a person and there is object also.
Yeah.
For the scriptures, even for the mountains, even for the rivers, even for the Bhuloka, for everything, there is a person also, there is an object also.
So for brahmacharis, grihasthas, vanaprasthas, whatever the four divisions have given, they are also personified entities.
Yeah, there could be some devatas who will be
Acha.
in charge for these four ashrama duties and varna duties. Yes,
Okay.
there will be
Okay.
some devatas.
Okay, Prabhuji. Yeah.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Yeah, one by one.
हाँ, हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी आपने जैसे कहा कि
Yes.
भूर्भुव स्वः ये शब्द
हाँ.
पहले शब्द निकले तो गायन इट इज अ मंत्र ऑफ गायत्री ना, तो सबसे पहले गायत्री
yes,
मंत्र
Gayatri.
उत्पन्न हुआ था।
Gayatri mantra. Yes, yes.
ओके
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Yes,
pranam.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, today exam will be today or in next class?
Next class.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Any other devotees have any question? Okay, fine. So we'll move ahead
Hare
with
Krishna.
40. Yes,
हरे
Mataji.
कृष्ण प्रभु जी आपने जैसे कहा ना कि चार ब्रह्मा जी के चार मुख से चार वेद निकले और उसके दो दो पार्ट हुए, तो कैन यू एक्सप्लेन लिटिल बिट इन दैट, वो थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन है इसमें।
I did
If
not get your
possible,
question. I did not get your question.
प्रभु यू टोल्ड ना चार वेद निकले पहले चार मुख से ब्रह्मा जी के, और उसके बाद उसके दो पार्ट निकले।
नहीं दो पार्ट नहीं. There are Vedas talk about the many category of sacrifices, many kinds of yajnas. But among them, 8 yajnas are important yajnas.
Okay.
And first Brahma manifested these 8 yajnas from his 4 mouths. Eastern mouth 2 yajnas, western mouth 2 yajnas, north mouth 2 yajnas, south mouth 2 yajnas. Like that. 8 important
पहले
yajnas.
पहले चार वेद उत्पन्न हुए, फिर उसमें से दो यज्ञ उत्पन्न हुए, एक एक वेद के दो यज्ञ।
नहीं, not like that. From Brahma's mouth only these two yajnas expanded.
ओके यानी पर्सनालिटी यज्ञास पर्सनालिटीज ना।
See, personality also and yajna procedure also. The yajna procedure also. So when we say yajna, not only the personality will always there. The procedure also. When you say Vedas, not only the Veda personified, the Veda itself, the Rigveda, the book that we call, the Rigveda also appeared from Brahma's mouth. Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda appeared. And then the procedure, how to practice, how to perform Gomeda Yajna, Ashwamedha Yajna, Agnishtoma Yajna, Vajpayee Yajna, these are all appeared from Brahma.
Okay.
At the beginning, the 8 yajnas made their appearance from Brahma himself, because these 8 are very important yajnas.
Okay.
So basically, yajna means what is the procedure, how to perform, why to perform, where to perform, when to perform. So all the details about the yajna.
Okay. Okay. अब क्लियर हो गया। Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other devotees? Okay, fine. So someone can unmute and repeat after me. Tasyognin asil lomabhyo
तस्य यो सिंहासिलोमभ्यो
गायत्री च त्वचो विभू
गायत्री च त्वचो विभो
त्रिष्टुं मांसा स्नुतो नुष्टो
दृष्टुं मांसात् स्नुतोऽनुष्टुप्
जगति अश्नत प्रजापते
जगते अश्नः प्रजापते
मज्जाया पंक्तिर उत्पन्ना
मज्जाया पंक्तिरुत्पन्ना
बृहति प्रान्तो भवत्.
बृहति प्राणतो भवत्.
Yeah, translation.
Thereafter, the art of literally expression, Ushnik, was generated from the hairs on the body of Almighty Prajapati. The principal Vedic hymn Gayatri was generated from the skin, Trishtup from the flesh, Anustup from the veins, and Jagati from the bones of the Lord of the living entities. The art of writing verse, Pankti, became manifested from the bone marrow, and that of Brihati, another type of verse, was generated from the life breath of the Lord of the living entities.
Okay. In our personality, there are 7 dhatus: Tvak, Charma, Mamsa, Rudira, Asti, etc. So from the 7 dhatus, 7 meters made their appearance from Brahma's body. The 7 dhatus of Brahma's body, there appeared the 7 Vedic meters. When we compose a poetry, the every line should follow these meters, one of these meters. So that is being indicated here. Ushnik, the meter known as Ushnik, consisting of 28 syllables, arose from Brahma's body hairs. Gayatri, consisting of 24 syllables, arose from Brahma's skin. Trishtup, consisting of 44 syllables, arose from Brahma's muscles. Anushtup, consisting of 32 syllables, arose from Brahma's veins. Jagati, consisting of 48 syllables, arose from Brahma's bones. Pankti, consisting of 40 syllables, arose from Brahma's marrow. And Bruhati, consisting of 36 syllables, arose from Brahma's thana. So this verse describes the origin of the 7 Vedic meters. Snuta means the veins which spread out all over the body. Sutistves Anushtup Snavan. The Anushtup meter arose from veins of Brahma. So these are the meters. Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup, Bruhati, Pankti, Trishtup. 24 syllables, 28 syllables, 32 syllables, 36 syllables, 40, 44. This is the smallest verse. These are the biggest verses. Like Janma, Dasya, Yata, Anvayad. That is a big verse in the Bhagavatam. That is made up of Trishtup kind of chandas. And these are small verses. Tasyogni Asil Lomabhyo Gayatricha Tvacho Vibho. If you count the number of letters that are there in this line, you will understand which meter it is. Like for example, Gayatricha Tvacho Vibhu. Ga, Ya, Tri, Cha, Tva, Cha, Vi, Bho. 6 plus 6, 6, 8 हो रहा है. So I don't know which meter. Generally they say Gayatri meter. So this इसमें 8 आ रहा है, इसमें भी 8 रहेगा. 8 plus 8 16. So only 16 syllables are there. So it is supposed to have 24 syllables Gayatri के लिए. So I don't know. Maybe vowels and consonants we may need to take separately. Then it becomes 24 syllables. The small verses in Bhagavatam, they are all made up of Gayatri meter. So in that way. These are all about poetry. In composing the poetry, they should follow these rules. One line should be consisting of this many syllables. Maybe we may need to take vowels and consonants separately. So then we may get this 24 number. So this one line from here to here will have 24 syllables. This is a Gayatri meter. So in that way. The big verse in Bhagavatam could be in different meters. The 7 dhatus of the human body are Tvak, Charma, Mamsa, Rudira, Medo, Majjasti, Dhatavaha. These are the 7 dhatus. Tvak, Charma. So Tvak, Charma, bodily skin, body hair, they are also part of Charma only. Mamsa is blood or muscles, we can say. Rudira is blood. Blood is about veins. The blood passes through veins. So in that way. Meda, Mazza, Asti. Mazza is marrow. Marrow is there. Asti is bones. And Meda could be taken as prana, maybe. So
Hare
in that
Krishna.
way, the 7 dhatus are indirectly indicated here. Mataji.
Prabhuji, Meda is fat tissue.
Yeah, fat tissues, that is fine. But in isme, you may take it as muscles. If Meda is muscles, so how prana connected to Mamsa? So Mamsa is muscles.
Mausa is muscle.
Then
Mausa is
Meda could be connected to
muscle and
prana.
Meda is
Hmm. Fat. So, but in any way, basically the understanding here is from the 7 dhatus of Brahma's body, the 7 Vedic meters appeared. Though here some things are not directly mentioned, here veins are used. Veins are the pathways of the blood flow. So blood can be considered to be veins. The only prana is left. The prana can be taken equivalent to Meda. So in that way. So in that way. So this is how we have to see. So then the 7 meters appeared. So this meter will have 24 syllables, 28 syllables. So what are the syllables? Where from they came? The syllables also appeared from Brahma. It is not that somebody had created the syllables. They also made appearance from Brahma only. Sparshastasya bhavajjiva
स्पर्शस्तस्या भवज्जीवा
swaro deha udahruta
परो देहावदाहृत
ushmanam indriyanyahor
उस्मानमिन्द्रियाणि आहुर्
antastha balamatmana.
अन्तस्थः बलम् आत्मनः
Swara sapta viharena
स्वरा सप्तविहारेण
bhavanti sma prajapate.
भवन्ति स्म प्रजापते. Translation: Brahma's soul was manifested as the touch alphabets, his body was the vowels, his senses as the sibilants alphabets, his strength as the intermediate alphabets, and his sensual activities as the 7 notes of music. Hare Krishna.
From Brahma's life arose consonants. The consonants made their appearance in Brahma's life. From Brahma's body arose the ovals. From Brahma's senses arose the Ushmanas. And the semi-ovals appeared from Brahma's strength. And the 7 musical notes, Sari, Gama, Padani, they appeared from Brahma's playing. So all the things that we are familiar with, they all appeared from Brahma's various body limbs. You see here, this verse describes the origin of the various sounds in speaking. Sparsha refers to the 5 classes of consonants with their nasals. So these are the 25 consonants. They are divided into 5 groups. The first one is called the gutturals, kaka, gagha, na, pronounced from the throat. शब्द throat से निकलता है. The palatals, chacha, jajja, na, pronounced from the palate with the middle of the tongue. With the middle of the tongue. When you say cha, cha, ja, ja, na, the tip of the tongue touches the center of the palate, upper palate. So it's like that. Cha, cha, ja, ja, na. Then the cerebrals, tata, da, da, na, pronounced with the tip of the tongue turned up and drawn back against the dome of the palate. So for this tata dadana, the tongue is bent and the tip of the tongue is bent towards inside, upper side and inside. So in that way. And then the dentals, tata dadana, as cerebrals, but with the forefront of the tongue against the teeth. The tip of the teeth touches the fingers. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. So the tongue will touch the teeth. And the labials, happa, vabama, pronounced with the lips. Both the lips come together and they are produced. The tongue does not touch neither palate nor the teeth. These are called consonants. And then swara refers to the ovals starting with a, I, e, u. These are ovals, 16 ovals. So in that way. Ushmana refers to Shesha Saha, Shesha Sa, sibilants. Shesha Sa and Ha as well. So all these 4 are called Ushmanas. Antasa refers to semi-ovals, Yara, Lava. Shesha, Saha, sibilants, Ushmana, and Antastha were Yara, Lava. Yara, Lava means they are pronounced inside only. Saptaswara refers to the musical notes beginning with Shadja. They arose from Brahma's play. So like this, all the alphabets along with Saptaswaras, they all appeared from Brahma's various bodily limbs. So in conclusion, why Brahma produced all these things? What is so special about Brahma in producing all these things? Shabda Brahmatmanastasya Vyakta Vyaktatmana Para Brahma Vabhati Vitato Nana Shakti Upabhrahmita. Sorry. Shabda Brahmasmanastasya
शब्दब्रह्मामनस्तस्य
Vyakta Vyaktatmana Paraha
व्यक्ताव्यक्तात्मना परा
Brahma Vabhati Vitato
ब्रह्मा विभाति विततो
Nana Shakti Upabhrahmita.
नाना शक्ति व ब्रह्मिता. Translation: Brahma is the personal representation of Supreme Personality of Godhead as a source of transcendental sound and therefore above the conception of manifested and unmanifested. Brahma is complete from of the absolute truth and invented with the multifarious energies. Hare Krishna.
The Supreme Lord, who is impersonal Brahman, and the personal Lord, personal Bhagavan, filled with various Shaktis, makes his appearance as Brahma, whose body is composed of the Vedas, which is audible sound as Vaikari and inaudible as Om. So it is like that. It is the Supreme Lord who had his manifestation as impersonal Brahman or personal Bhagavan, made his appearance as Brahma, filled with all different Shaktis, and his body composed of all the Vedas. And all the Vedas consisting of audible and inaudible sounds. So like that. This verse shows that Brahma has extraordinary powers as a manifestation of Supreme Lord. His body is composed of the Vedas. The Supreme Lord appears as visible objects in the form of Brahma, whose body is the Vedas, manifested as external sound, and the unmanifested sound Om. The external manifested sound as Vaikari, unmanifested sound as Om. So basically, though we are saying that through Brahma all these things appeared, ultimately it is the Supreme Lord himself made his appearance as Brahma. It is the Supreme Lord made himself as the Vedas, consisting of audible sound vibration known as Vaikari and inaudible sound vibration known as Om. So basically, it is Supreme Lord who empowered Brahma to do all these things. And if you go one step ahead, it is Supreme Lord himself appeared as Brahma. It is Supreme Lord himself appeared as all these Vedic literatures and letters, syllables, etc., etc. Everything is Supreme Lord only, like that. That Lord is also manifested as Brahman, the object of impersonal jnana, and manifested as Bhagavan, the object of pure personal knowledge, filled with many Shaktis. Just like the same Lord who appeared as Brahma and all the Vedic literatures, he also appeared as Brahman for the Jnanis and Yogis and as Bhagavan for the devotees. Since Brahma is non-different from the Lord, it is understood that he has not been contaminated by approaching his daughter. So since it is said that Brahma is non-different from the Lord, the Supreme Lord himself manifested as Brahma. So one black spot which we saw in the previously, that he ran after his own daughter. That is not at all a fault in Brahma. It was only an imitation by Brahma. It is not a fault. Imitation to show all of us that even a personality like Brahma also can be bewildered by Maya in this material world. So all of you should be careful to teach us that it happened like that. So thus, whatever Brahmaji created, whatever manifested through Brahma, especially in terms of Vedic literatures, They are grouped into 18 categories. See, you can count here. Total how many are there? The 4 Vedas, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvana Veda. They are mentioned in 3:12:37. And 6 Vedangas, Shiksha, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chandas, Kalpa, and Jyotisha. They are mentioned from 39 to 47. Shiksha means alphabets. Just the previous verse only talks about alphabets. Vyakarana means grammar. Chandas, that is also there. Nirukta means etymology or direct dictionary, the meaning of the words. Chandas means 7 Vedic meters, that also we saw previously. Kalpa means the rules for rituals, the 8 yajnas along with their procedures that are there. Jyotisha means astrology and astronomy. So that is about time. So there was a discussion about time in the 11th chapter, that is all there. And also it's like that. They are also entered here, but they are also there in the previous chapter also, but in that way. And 4 Upavedas, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, and Stapatya. They are mentioned 38th verse. Puranas and Itihasas, 39th verse. Dharma Shastras, talking about Varnashrama duties, 41 to 44. Nyaya Shastras, 44 verse. Mimamsa Shastras, Karma Mimamsa, etc. etc. The three Vedas, Traivarika Dharma, etc. etc. Dharmartha Kama Moksha, etc. That is mentioned in 40-41. So in that way, the total 18 category of Vedic literatures all appeared from Brahma. 4 plus 6, 10, 10 plus 4, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So in that way. Rug, Yaju, Samadhar, Vakya, Vedas, Chatvara, Yavahi. 4 Vedas. Purana, Nyaya, Mimamsa, Dharma, Shasrani, Eti, Api. Shiksha, Kalpo, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Jyotisham, Tata. Chandas, Chechi, Sad, Iti. These are like 6 Vedangas. Evam Vidya, Prokta, Chaturdasha. The 16 Angas of Vidya till now. And adding 4 more, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, and Stapatya, there will be 18. Ashtadashapi Tata. There were Shastrair, 18 types of Vedic literatures. They all made their appearance from Brahma. Thus, there are 18 divisions of the Vedic knowledge in summary. So, this is all happened by Brahmaji himself. It is Brahma who had manifested the 4 types of living entities representing Avidya and Pradhana, and 6 groups of Vidya represented by 4 Kumaras, Narada Muni and 9 Prajapatis. That is the 6 Sanghas of Vidya. And also additional things, Dharma, Adharma, case study of Adharma, walk, a case study of Dharma, Kardama, and then other different things that assist us as part of Vidya. All the different variety of 18 types of Vedic literature, they are all mentioned. All these things are happened by Brahma because Brahma is an expansion of the Supreme Lord. And Brahma's form is made up of all the Vedas, Vedic literatures. So this is how a summary of all that has been manifested by Brahma, and Brahma's potency, Brahma's personality have been indicated. Tatoparam upadaya. Hare Krishna.
ततो
Someone repeat.
मारामुपादाय
Sasargaya manodade.
ससर्गाय मनोदते. Translation. Thereafter, Brahma accepted another body in which sex life was not forbidden, and thus he engaged himself in the matter of further creation. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. This verse actually supposed to come long back. It is coming now. Having given up one body which became darkness, Brahma accepted this other body and concentrated his mind on creation. The current body, which is made up of all the Vedic literatures, Brahma Mayu Vapu, Shabda Brahma Vapu. With that body only, Brahmaji is still existing now. The previous body with which, the previous mentality with which Brahma ran after his daughter, the Vagdevi, that he has given up, that are turned into fog. But now, later on, the another body, which is made up of all the Vedas, with which he manifested all the Vedas, with which he further created, with which is still existing now. So, in that way. Giving up his previous body, which became mist and darkness after desiring walk, Brahma accepted another body without pollution of forbidden acts like lust. This Shabda Brahma body remains with Brahma at all times. So, in that way. So, this is all about Brahma's creations, the various creations. After creating all these Vedic literature, still Brahma was feeling why things are not moving fast. I wanted creation should go on fast. I told my sons to do it, but still they are not doing it. What is the solution for this? How can I make a automatic procedure, automatic process of creation, a sustainable creation which will continue on its own without somebody pushing? So that's what he was thinking. Rushinam Bhuri Viryanam
Rishina Bhuri Viryanam
Api Sargam Avishrutam
Api Sargam Avishritam
Jnatva Tadrudaye Bhuyas
Gyatva Tadrudaye Bhuyas
Chaitanyam Asakaurava.
Chintayam Asa Kaurava. O son of
Sorry.
Guru, when Brahma saw that in spite of the presence of sages of great potency, there was no sufficient increase in population, he seriously began to consider how the population could be increased.
Yeah. Since the creation was not going as he expected, oh Vidura, Maitreya is saying that understanding that the creation produced from the powerful sages was not sufficient, Brahma again began to reflect within his own heart. Brahma had taught that Marichi and others from who from others whom he had previously created would create huge population. However, he again made an effort. He thought that they will do it. They will produce a lot of progeny and then the entire universe is filled by living entities. But they are not doing, they are busy with performing tapasya only. They are not interested in getting progeny so much. So Brahma again thought about it, what to do and how to do it. Aho adbhutam yetan me
अहो अद्भुतं एतन्मे
vyaprushtasyapi nityada
व्यापृतस्यापि नित्यदा
nahi edante prajanunam
न हि एदन्ते प्रजानूनं
daivam atra vighatakam.
दैवम् अत्र विनातकम्. Translation. Brahma thought to himself, alas, it is wonderful that in spite of my being scattered all over, there is still insufficient population throughout the universe. There is no other cause for this misfortune but destiny. Hare Krishna.
Brahmaji thinking within himself, how astonishing! Though I am engaged constantly in creation, the population does not increase. There is certainly some obstacle causing misfortune. Then he was thinking like that and meditating on the Supreme Lord. Then what happened? एवं युक्ता कृतस्तस्य
एवं युक्तकृतस्तस्य
दैवं चावेक्षतस्तदा
दैवं चावेक्षतस्तदा
कस्य रूपम् अबुद्वेद
कस्य रूपम् अबुद्वेधा
यत्कायम् अभिचक्ष्यते.
यत्कायम् अभिचक्षते. Translation. While he was thus absorbed in contemplation and was observing the supernatural power, two other forms were generated from his body. They are still celebrated as the body of Brahma. Hare Krishna.
While engaging himself properly and considering his bad luck, his body became two beings who are known as the descendants of Brahma. So basically, as he was contemplating like that, why things are not moving fast? From his body appeared two personalities. Properly engaging himself and seeing his misfortune, one form of Brahma became two, one with a beard and the other with breasts. Since the two bodies were related to Brahma, Brahma's another name is Ka. So they are known as Kaya or his descendants. Since these two personalities appeared from Brahma, they are called Kaya or Kayam. So who are these two people? One male, one female. Thabhyam Rupa Vibhagabhyam.
Tapyam Rupa Vibhagyam
Mitunam Samapadyata.
Mitunam Samapadyata. Translation: the two newly separated bodies united together in a sexual relationship. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, the male and female were produced and eventually they were married and they begot children. So how many children they begot? Yastu tatra pumanso boom.
Yastu
Yes,
tatra swabhon.
Manu swayambhuva swarat.
Manu swayambhuva swarat.
Priyachit chatarupakya.
Riya shikshata rupakya.
Mahishi asya mahatmana.
Riyasya mahatmana. Out of them, the one who had the male form became known as the Manu named Swayambhuva, and the woman became known as Satarupa, the queen of great soul Manu.
Yeah. The male form became known as the independent ruler Swayambhuva Manu, and the woman became known as the Satarupa, the queen of that great soul. Tadamituna dharmena.
Tatamituna Dharmena
Prajahi edam babhuvire.
Prajayedam Bhuvire. Translation: thereafter, by sex intelligence, they gradually increased generation of population one after another. Hari
Yeah.
Bol.
So by creating Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa, Lord Brahma established a new means of begetting children. Till then, all the creation was happening by the mystic potency of Brahma, mystic potency of Rudra, mystic potency of Prajapatis. There was no marriage between wife and husband, male and female. So these are the first couple that were manifested by Brahma, and Brahma established a new process of procreating children and begetting children. So after establishing this, Brahma became silent from the act of creation. So that's how it has ended. Later on, in the 20th chapter, we'll see that the creation of Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa was the last creation by Brahma. That was Lord Brahma's last creation. Afterwards, Lord Brahma established a autonomous system, automatic system. The creation will continue with the combination of male and female forms in all living entities. So he established that. So that's how it is indicated here. Sachapi Shatarupayam
Jati Satarupaya.
Panchapatyani Ajijanat
Panchapatyani Ajijanat.
Priyavratottana Padau
Priyabrata Uttanapadau.
Tisra Kanyascha Bharata
तिस्रः कन्या स च भारत.
Akutirdevahutischa
आकुतिर्देवहूतिश्च
Prasutir iti Sattama.
प्रसूतिर इति सत्तमा. Translation: O son of Bharata, in due course of time, he, Manu, begot in Satarupa 5 children, 2 sons, Priyabrata and Uttanapada, and 3 daughters, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti.
Yeah. So by of Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa, they gave birth to 5 children known as Priyavrata, Uttanapada, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. So then, these three daughters were given in marriage to three different sages. And after their marriage, they begot many children. And they had daughters and sons. They were given in marriage to other people, and they begot many children. So like that, the Srishti is continuing on since then. Akutim ruchaye pradat.
आकुतिं रुचये पादात्
Kardamaya tu madhyamam.
कर्दमायातु मध्यमाम्
Dakshadyat prasutim cha.
दक्षयाद्यात् प्रसूतिं च
Yata apuritam jagat.
यथा पूरितं जगत्. Translation: The father Manu handed over his first daughter Akuti to the sage Ruchi, the middle daughter Devahuti to the sage Kardama, and the youngest Prasuti to Daksha. From them all the world filled with population.
Yeah. The father Manu handed over his first daughter Akuti to the sage Ruchi. Ruchi is also son of Brahma, another son of Brahma. The middle daughter Devahuti was given in marriage to Kardama. The youngest daughter Prasuti was given in marriage to Daksha. And thus, through these three daughters and with their children, the entire world is filled with so many population with like that. So this is how the eventually later on the entire world is filled with variety of population. So after establishing this system of the marriage between wife and husband and then begetting children through their combination, Brahma became retreated. He did not continue further creation himself. So now things are going on their own. So like that. So this is how the different
Hare
variety of
Krishna,
beings
Prabhu.
have been created, manifested by Brahma, etc. Yes, Mataji. Somebody was raising their hand in between. I did not take question. Sorry.
Yes,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, this is Brahma's last creation. So
Ah.
this was only for the human beings. What about the animals and the demigods and the plants? Means this was only for this, no? So how the other four which were created by Brahma, how they, I have that doubt.
Even among them also, he established a similar concept. The male-female combination, that concept is being by creating this Satarupa and Swayambhuva Manu, Brahmaji established the same concept in other all variety of species. So every species will follow the same concept. But here it is said only one example is given in terms of the human beings, Swayambhuva Manu Satarupa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So similarly is for the demigods and similarly is for the
Yes. Everyone, for every this procedure, he had established for everyone. Yeah.
okay, Prabhuji.
Since we are in the human society, for us to relate, the human example has given.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
So with this, the 12th chapter is over. Any other questions from other devotees? Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु प्रणाम सर।
Yes, Mr.
तो इसके पहले दिति और अदिति का भी प्रसंग आया है ना कि असुर जो है दिति से उत्पन्न
No,
हुए और
Diti and Aditi ka prasang aayega Chakshusha Manvantara. This is still Swayambhu Manvantara. The Swayambhu Manu is about to start now. Because Swayambhu Manu just born, his Manvantara will begin. Diti, Aditi, and all will come in Chakshusha Manvantara, 6th Manvantara.
ओके। और प्रभु ये जो है हमने आपने जैसे कहा कि सब लिविंग एंटिटी गेट हुए, तो इसमें तो खाली मनुष्य का ही बताया गया है, पशु पक्षी उनके सबको तो चेहरे सब अलग है, तो हाउ दे कम दिस, हाउ वी कैन अंडरस्टैंड दिस थिंग्स।
I did not get your question. What is that?
जैसे आपने अभी स्वयंभू मनु से 3 लड़कियां और 2 बच्चे उत्पन्न हुए और फिर उनके जो ब्रह्मा जी के पुत्र थे उसके साथ उनका शादी हुई, तो उससे मनुष्य ही उत्पन्न हुए। तो बाकी जो प्रजातियां है जैसे पशु पक्षी है या जलचर है, तो
हाँ.
उनकी उत्पत्ति कैसे हुई?
No, don't see in terms of the species. See only in terms of the means by which the creation will continue. Till now, whether Brahmaji did or Rudras did or other Prajapatis were doing the creating progeny, it was all through their Siddhi. Either from their body or from their mind, their Siddhi, the creation is happening. So now Brahmaji is establishing a new means, new procedure. What is that new procedure? That new procedure is by the combination of male and female, father, mother. So this procedure will be applicable in all species, all the variety of species. It is same as in the plants also, animals also, reptiles, aquatics, and also human beings and superhuman beings, the great sages.
अच्छा, जैसे
This
जो
procedure.
विराट स्वरूप से सब
After
निकला
this,
था, हाँ, जो विराट रूप से सब निकला था, अभी उसमें ये प्रोसीजर फॉलो करने का है, वही
so
वही समझ रहे
basically
हैं ना?
he created a new procedure. So for that
हाँ,
one example of human beings is shown. So it is like that.
ओके, अच्छा, हाँ, अब क्लियर हो, ठीक.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
हाँ.
Prabhuji, this procedure, new procedure was formed. Prabhuji, can you just please explain how the living entity then comes? Like we have read in Bhagavad Gita or somewhere that the living entities come in the form of grains and then eat it. So can you just rewind that so how the living entities get into the things like?
No. That is basically when a person leaves heaven, when he falls down to Bharata Varsha, how does he get a human species?
Yeah.
So that the process of coming down from heaven to Bharata Varsha, coming from heaven to human species, that is indicated there.
Okay. But then how
That
the
is
living
there in
entity?
your Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. Chapter, I just forgot. Yeah. But
Chapter
Prabhuji,
8,
then
text
how,
number 3.
yes, Prabhuji. So that is only who the living entities who are in Swarga fall downs and then come to Bharatvarsha. But then how about the living entities? By this process comes how they come and where from see in the semen it is there and it goes. So the what is that where the living entity stays in the body of Vishnu and then they come down. So what is that procedure, Prabhuji?
No, that's what. See, whether they are staying in the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu or Karnakshaya Vishnu, when they enter into the universe, initial few samples are created by Brahma. Whatever we have been discussing from 10th chapter onward, these are all initial samples done by Brahma. Brahma had created these initial samples, only few people, not everyone. So through them, other living entities are manifested. So eventually.
So, but how the living entities?
See, other living entities,
means like
they will appear, na? Just like now, for example, somebody died. And the Atma is there somewhere, whether in the Narakaloka or somewhere it is there. And when right time comes, again the same Atma enters into the womb of new mother. Again develops a new body and then takes birth. Same way, now, yesterday night, all the Jivas, all the Atmas entered into the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. So from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu's body, one is coming out. As and when one is coming out, it is getting a new gross body and then starts performing activities. So like that, when the right time comes for everyone, they eventually come out of the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu and they get their respective bodies and perform activities, begin their activities.
Okay.
So like that. So at the beginning of the creation, we can say that all of them are there in the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and slowly one by one is coming out whenever the right time comes for them to enter into a particular mother's womb. So in that way.
So whatever is given in chapter 8 of Bhagavad Gita, 3rd verse, that is only for the entities who are in Swarga Loka and how they come to Bharatvarsha. So that is the different thing, and what we are training is from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. I was confused that all the living entities, whoever comes like that in the form of rain, then grains are eaten, then it comes in the semen, and then it is like united, and then it comes. So I was thinking all the living entities are like that.
No, that is only for those Martalokam Vishanti. Shine Punya Martalokam Vishanti. Those who went to Swarga, their Punya is over, then they come down to earth. So how they fall
Okay.
down, how they get the human body, that is only a small portion.
Okay. Otherwise,
Vishnu Antarkshya.
all the living entities are in Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and whenever the gross bodies are ready, they just enter into the womb of the mother with this
Yeah.
through the semen. Like,
Yes, yes.
okay, Prabhuji. Okay, got it.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, this may be a foolish question, but I have to ask it. Prabhuji, Satarupa and Swayambhuva Manu, they are from Brahma's body, and their progeny will be brothers and sisters in between them, na? Matlab, they will be
Yeah,
related as brothers and sisters. Then how it will increase? Means it is not Sargotra Vivaha is means it's banned, na? You should not do Sargotra Vivaha, na?
wait 1 second. That is all fine. These rules are all to lead a sane life, a systematic and organized Vedic life. But we cannot apply these rules, our rules, upon the Devatas. Swayambhuva Manu Satarupas are the direct children of Brahma. They are much superior to the Devatas. So when our rules
Yes.
we can't even apply to the Devatas, then what to speak of the being superior to Devatas? So these rules does not apply to them. Even here you see, the first daughter Akuti was given in marriage to Ruchi. So after their marriage, they gave birth to twins, one boy, one girl. The boy was Yajna, girl was Dakshina, Lord Vishnu and Lakshmi Devi. They were born as twins.
Okay.
Even King Vena, from by churning his body, the sages produced two personalities, one male and one female. King Prutu and Archi. They were appeared together from the churning of the body of Vena, but they married later on. Lord Vishnu's expansion, Lakshmi's expansion. So our rules, we cannot apply upon them. These are all superior beings, and they are much elevated, because the rules are given for us to in order to purify us, in order to purify our existence. If such
But
kind of
Prabhuji, we are extensions of these entities only, na? We are extensions of these people only, na?
See, yeah, we are extensions of them only, but they are not humans. They are much superior to humans. We are humans, but they are much superior to humans. We cannot equate them with us.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Actually, Manu is not the father of mankind. People think that from Manu only all the human beings came. No, not like that. Manu is the ruler of the humankind. He is the ruler. He is the first king of the entire humankind, the entire Bhumandala. And later on, his children became the rulers of the entire Bhumandala and all. The human beings are produced from Prajapatis. We all came from Prajapatis. For example, all of us have some Gotra. The Gotra indicates who is that Prajapati from whom we are all coming down. For example, my family Gotra is Kashyapa Rishi. So our family must have come from Kashyapa Rishi. So like that, some of you might be having some Gotra. Vasishta Gotra, Pulasya Gotra, Pulaha Gotra, something like that. So they are the original forefathers, the sages, the Manasaputras of Brahma, the Prajapatis.
Acha. And
If you
then
see,
Praja, the Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa's Praja, that is what then?
no, they are only rulers. You see, you check with people around you. If somebody has a Gotra called Manu Gotra, Swayambhuva Manu Gotra, if somebody has like that. So Swayambhuva Manu is only the king, is the ruler, is the representative of Supreme Lord to protect Varnashram Dharma. He is not the Prajapati. No one will have Gotra Manu. So Manu is not a Prajapati. Manu is the ruler.
Achha, but recently we read na, he was not satisfied with the because the praja was not increasing satisfactorily. So he
Okay.
put it on the autonomous mode with the Swayambhuva Manu and Satarupa.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now how it happened? Through Swayambhu Manu Satarupa, only 5 children were born. Not every. And these 3 daughters were given marriage to 3 sages.
Mhm.
And from there, appear like, for example, Kardama married to Devahuti. They gave birth to 9 daughters.
Yeah.
Daughters
Yes, yes,
married to 9
Prabhuji.
sons
Yeah.
of Brahma. Vasishtha, Pulaha, Kratu,
Mhm.
Angira, Bhrugu, all these people married. And they gave birth to many children, many devatas, human beings, all these different species, asuras, rakshasas, and all, they were born as the children of these 9 daughters of Devahuti. And then Prasuti married Daksha. Daksha, Prasuti gave birth to 16 daughters. Then from the 16 daughters, many children appeared. And from their children, many children appeared. So like that, the creation went on. It expanding more and more,
Got
more
it,
and more,
Prabhuji.
bigger, bigger.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you,
So in
Prabhuji.
that way.
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Ah,
Hare Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, so what I understood about this, that you told Manu Shatrupa gave birth to 5, and then progeny, that was their work, and they were you told that they were kings like that, and remaining all the creation by 5 of them. Is that Prabhuji?
not by 5 of them, through them. Because
Yes,
out of
yes.
the 5, 3 daughters were there. The 3
Uh,
daughters eventually gave birth to many daughters. And they married to
uh,
many great sages. So like that, all the Prajapatis married these daughters. So because the
yes,
daughters, they expand population. So in that way.
yes, yes, good,
Hmm.
Prabhuji. Understood.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Manish.
I have a question. Mataji, like one Mataji prior, she was asking how the soul enters comes into life, right? So I was also thinking it is that rain, and from the rain, the grains come, and by the nature's play, then the grain goes into the semen. That's how the soul reaches. So can you explain? You said it's not. So I'm very confused now. So can you help me? How, suppose somebody leaves a body and after 13 months he gets another body in human being, then how will he come back to be a human being?
Okay. See, the procedure is said like that. When a person dies, they will do some punya and some papa. But in any case, when a person dies, if a person is not a devotee, he will be taken to Yamaraj. And Yamaraj and Chitragupta will analyze. So what all you have done? How much piety, how much impiety, this, that, etc. etc. We'll take an example of a person who has done less piety but more impiety. So Yamaraj will say that, okay, you have done 10% of piety, 90% of impiety. So this result will come. So what do you want first? You want the result of the impiety or result of the piety? So generally, it is said in the scriptures that the people take whichever is smaller first. Then they ask for the bigger thing later on. As we took the example of a person who has done little piety but more impiety, more sin. He knows that. Okay, first let me, there is only little enjoyment but more suffering. Instead of suffering first, let me enjoy first. Then we'll see suffering baad mein aayega tab dekhte hain. So they will go to heaven. And according to their punya, they may supposed to stay in the heaven for 1000 years. We assume like that. So 1000 years they live lavishly in the heaven. After 1000 years are over, they have to leave heaven. In heaven, there will be no mrityu. There is no death. Amara. The devatas are called Amara. Amara means Amara. Malab, no one dies there because there is no death. Because we see every day, every now and then in our neighborhood, somebody is dying. Dying means they leave behind the dead body. But in the heaven, there is no concept of leaving behind a dead body. So when the time comes that they are supposed to leave heaven, they are thrown out of the heaven, either voluntarily or by somebody's push or by some invisible force or whatever. They will fall from heaven. So they will fall from the Swargaloka, then they come to Bhuvarloka. In Bhuvarloka, at one place, there are our Bhuta Preta Pishashas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, they are all there. So what they will do? they will eat away that heavenly body of this soul who is falling down. With whatever heavenly body they had till now, these Bhuta Preta Pishashas and Daksha Rakshasas who are very angry, they will eat away the gross body, the entire flesh, bones, and blood, marrow, etc., etc. All these things. The seven dhatus, the gross body made up of seven dhatus, they eat it away. So what remains is the subtle body, Manbuddhi, Ahankara, Chetana, and Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, and Atma. With the subtle body, that Jiva, as he coming down from Bhuvarloka, it falls in the clouds. So when the season comes, the clouds downpour in the form of rain. Then the soul comes onto the ground. It enters into the ground. Then to the water, it enters to the roots of a plant and enters into the plant. And eventually that plant might be giving us some food grains or vegetables or some fruits, something like that. Some eatable thing. So you may say that if it is entering into a plant which has which is giving nothing. So because here everything is happening by karma, by Lord's order. If somebody has to take birth in some species, so it will come into proper thing only. So we take the example of human being also and also an animal also. So one jiva entered into a plant which is giving us some fruits or vegetables or some leafy vegetable or something whatever. So we cut the leafy vegetable or food grains or vegetables or fruits and we prepare food and the man eats. So the soul which has taken shelter of that leafy vegetable or fruits or whatever or food grains, rice, dal, etc., wheat, it entered into that man and eventually when the food is digested, it takes the shelter of the blood and eventually takes shelter of the semen. And later on enters into the womb of the mother at the time of conception. And in the womb, the child develops a gross body. And eventually the child is born after 9 months or something like that. So this is for human beings. Same thing is applicable for animals also. Same jiva which fell along with the rainwater, entered into the ground, entered into another plant, some other plant, which only had some green leaves, etc. And those green leaves are eaten by a deer or a goat or a grass. A cow eats the grass, etc. Then we cannot say cow, we can say a bull or a male goat or whatever. So they ate, it entered into their body and then take shelter of their blood and their semen and eventually passed on to the counterpart, the female counterpart, the female cow or female goat or female deer or whatever. Then they will take birth. So this is how the jiva, as a result of one's own karma, if he had some piety, when they'll go to heaven, and when after completing their piety, when they're coming down, with this procedure, they will enter into any species. So I just gave example of a human being and animal. Like that, any other species we can think of. Even the snake also same thing, and any insect also same thing like that. So whatever is there eatable, it will take shelter of that particular eatable object, and it enters into their body, and then it transfers from the male person to the female person, and then produces the new child. And if some jiva is supposed to become plant only, they don't have to enter into any other male or female. So the plant का तो the ground में निकल गिर गया, it can directly come out the मतलब where it is fell on the ground, it can take shelter of some seeds and then produce a plant from there directly. Just like when you sow a seed, the seed captures a lot of water, wind, and other things, soil content, etc. So along with the water, the soul can enter into the seed, and the seed can produce. So like that, we can think of. So this is my understanding about this. So in this way,
Prabhuji,
when Jiva falls down, he takes the body of a new species.
Prabhuji, this is what we thought. I thought you told the Mataji, no, this is not the case, and something else was the thing. That's why I got confused.
See, this is a general procedure which is happening every day and every other day. This is
Correct.
after going to Swarga when they fall down. But what we are discussing in today's chapter, how things have happened at the very beginning of the creation. So that is the difference
Okay,
between these two.
So basically, Prabhuji, on a day-to-day basis, it is such a complex network of karma and probability that even the parents are all destined by the Supreme Lord, right? The soul doesn't select which parents it's going to take birth from, right, Prabhuji?
It's one's own karma. One's own karma decides
That's also
from
preordained,
which parent they need to take birth.
Yeah. So it's preordained, na Prabhuji, correct?
Everything is preordained. We will discuss that when we come to 31st
Okay, Prabhuji,
chapter.
thank you.
There is a discussion about that.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, any other devotees have any question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, you were saying about the Brahmaji's diet. They are Swayambhuva and Satarupa are direct sons. So they are Ionijas. So is that right? Am I getting it right?
Yes. They were born directly from the body of Brahma. They were born through mystic potency of Brahma.
Yeah. So that doesn't actually make them a brother and sister. Sahodar is when brother and sister are born out of the same mother through a yoni. Am I right? Is that the meaning of
that
Sahodar?
is true. Yeah, that is there. That is true.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Even if some personalities who appear from the same mother's womb, if they are divine personalities, they don't have to follow our rules and regulations.
Okay.
Even the Supreme Lord appears as a Yonija also. The Supreme Lord along with Mother Lakshmi, both of them seemingly appears as twins. But still they don't have to follow our human rules. The human rules are meant for human beings only. We cannot apply these rules upon the celestial and celestial beings and the great sages. They are beyond all these rules and regulations.
Yeah, Prabhuji, because their birth itself is divine. Because it's not even if it is coming from a yoni, it is not a normal thing. Like if Krishna was born with clothes and teeth and abhushan and everything, so it's not a normal birth like a human birth. So,
Yes. Correct.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Correct. So, since we are discussing about Swayambhu Manu, we'll discuss a little bit more about Swayambhu Manu and then we'll stop for today's class. Yeah, Haripriya Mataji, you have something to ask? Hare Krishna, Haripriya Mataji, you are asking something? Yes.
Roja, I have one question. I mean, in the sense, just wanted to confirm that in case of carnivorous animals, then it would mean that the soul takes shelter of other animals, and then is it correct understanding?
Yes. The soul through the water minerals enters into a plant. Okay. And that plant leaves are eaten by a herbivorous animal. And it takes shelter of the herbivorous animal's flesh or blood, whatever. When that flesh or blood is eaten by carnivorous animal, it enters into the body of carnivorous animal. And it takes shelter of the flesh and blood and then eventually semen and passes on to the female counterpart. So like that.
Okay. Thank you.
Basically, see, the jiva takes shelter of the food. And through food, it goes from one species to other species and then transforms into semen and then enters into the new species. So that is the general procedure. Food is the via media for all transmigration.
Yes, thank you.
So here in 13th chapter, this chapter describes how, following the words of Swayambhu Manu, Lord Brahma meditated on, and from his nose, Lord Varaha appeared. The Lord appeared as Varaha, which approached the earth, the Bhumandala, and raised it, Lord Varaha was then praised by the sages. So in this chapter, just now we discussed about Swayambhu Manu is the ruler of the human beings. So how and under what circumstances he became the ruler, etc. Such kind of things are spoken in this chapter. By the way, there is a discussion about Lord Varaha's pastime. So we'll see. We'll only discuss couple of verses which are talking about Swayambhu Manu, and then Varaha's pastimes and all we'll discuss in the next class whenever we do. This is a big chapter consisting of 50 verses. So first Vidura makes some inquiries about Swayambhu Manu, and then there is a discussion between Brahma and Swayambhu Manu, and then the Manu service. So remaining all will come in the later part of the chapter. We'll just focus on a couple of verses where questions asked by Vidura about Swayambhu Manu, and then after Manu's creation, how Manu was willing to serve Brahma. So what kind of service you want to render, and what is the kind of instruction that Brahma gives to Manu, that we'll try to see today a little bit. Sri Shuka Uvacha.
Shri Shuka Uvacha.
Nishamya vacham vadato.
Nishamya vacham vadato.
Mune punyatamam rupa.
Mune punyatam nrupa.
Bhuya paprucha kauravyo.
Bhuya prapacha kauravyo.
Vasudeva katadrita.
Vasudeva Kadhadruta. Translation. Shri Shukdev Goswami said, O king, after hearing all these most virtuous topics from sage Maitreya, Vidura inquired further on the topic of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which he adored to hear.
Yeah. After hearing all such wonderful creation by Brahma, then Vidura is going to inquire further about Swayambhu Manu. Just because in a couple of verses it is mentioned about from Brahma appeared a male and female. The male was Swayambhu Manu, female was Satarupa. They married and they begot children. The children were given marriage to various children. So now the next, the whole third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto is all about these 5 children of Swayambhu Manu. About Swayambhu Manu and his 5 children. About the second half of third canto, the entire fourth canto, and the first half of fifth canto. About 2 full cantos are dedicated for the discussion about the 5 children of Swayambhu Manu and Swayambhu Manu himself. So that is that kind of glorious family is this. So that's why there is a lot of portion is dedicated to discuss about them. So Vidura, attentive to the topics of Lord Krishna, hearing the virtuous words of Maitreya, again inquired. Adrita means Vidura, having respect or attention rather than being respected. Or Adrita can mean Vidura who was respected by Maitreya. So Adrita means he was eager to hear. Atrit. So in that way. Maitreya thought, let Vidura hear me through these topics. May he become successful from my speaking, the sweetness of Lord Krishna. Or Adrita can mean who was attentive on the topics. Since it means this in relation to hear the and listeners. Basically, both we can say Vidura is eager to hear more and more, or Maitreya was eager to speak more and more so that Vidura can be benefited by hearing him. So like that. That was the mood between Vidura and Maitreya. That's Sukadeva Goswami is saying. So now, being eager to hear more and more, Vidura is going to inquire from Maitreya Rishi. In next 3 verses, he asks about Swayambhu Manu. Please speak more about Swayambhu Manu. So now he also talks about why he wants to hear about Swayambhu Manu. Vidura Uvacha.
Vidura Uvacha.
Savai Swayambhuva Samrat.
Savai Swayambhuva Samrat.
Priya Putra Swayambhuvaha.
Priya Putra Swayambhuva.
Pratilabhya Priyam Patnim.
Pratilabhya Priyam Patnim.
Kim chakara tato mune.
Kim chakara tato mune. Translation. Vidura said, O great sage, what did Swayambhuva, the dear son of Brahma, do after obtaining his very loving wife? Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So Brahmaji, I mean, Maitreya told that from Brahmaji two personalities appeared, one male, one female. They were married and they begot 5 children. So he wants to know what else they did. So marriage okay, children okay, then what else they did? Please speak about their activities. So like that. Charitam. So then Maitreya might say that why you want to hear so much about them, what they did and all, why you want to know? So this is why I want to know. Like that he is telling. Charitam tasya rajarsher
Charitam
Charitam
Rajarshir
adi rajasya sattama
Adirajasya Sattama
bruhi me shraddha danaya
Rohime Shraddha Danaya
vikshvaksena yaso.
Visvakshena Asho. Translation. O best of the virtuous, the original king of kings Manu was a great devotee of the personality of Godhead Hari, and thus it is worth hearing of his sublime character and activities. Please describe them. I am very eager to hear.
O Maitreya, please describe to me, endowed with great faith to hear more and more, the activities of this first saintly king. Charitam tasya rajarse adi rajasya. Adi Raja means the first Raja, the first king. He took shelter of the Supreme Lord. Why you want to hear about him? Because Vishwaksena Ashroyu Yaso. He had completely taken shelter of the Supreme Lord. That's why I want to hear about him more and more. He's a great devotee. That's why I want to hear about him more and more. So then one may ask question, why you want to hear about devotees? Okay, that is fine, he's a devotee, but why you want to hear about devotees? So further he says, Shrutasya pumsham suchirashramasya
Shrutasya pustaಂ suchirashramasya
nanvanjasa suribiriditortaha
नन्वञ्जसा सूरिभिरीडितोऽर्थः
तत्तद्गुणानुश्रवणं mukunda
तत्तद्गुणानुश्रवणं मुकुन्द
पादारविन्दं हृदयेषु येषाम्
पादारविन्दं हृदयेषु येषाम्. Translation. Persons who hear from a spiritual master with great labor and for a long time must hear from the mouths of pure devotees about the character and activities of pure devotees. Pure devotees always think within their hearts of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead who awards his devotees liberation. Hare Krishna.
So here, this is one interesting verse. I think this will be there in your exams also. Please meditate, memorize this verse. Shrutasya pumsham suchirashramasya nanvanjasa suribiriditorto taddad gunanu vas shravanam mukunda padaravindam hridayeshu yesham. The goal of a person, pumsham artha, who is engaged in hearing the scriptures from the Guru for a long time, elaborately praised by the great devotees, is hearing the glories of those in whose hearts Mukunda resides. So basically, one should aspire to hear about devotees who had dedicated their life in the service of the Supreme Lord. This should be our principal goal. We all should cherish to hear more and more about those devotees who had continuously engaged in serving the Supreme Lord. So that is what is the meaning of this. The goal of a person engaged in hearing scriptures from the Guru for a long time, elaborately praised by the great devotees, is hearing the glories of those in whose hearts Mukunda resides. Esham Rudayeshu Mukunda Padara Vindam. So, especially those who come to Bhakti Marga who are hearing Krishna Katha for a long time, they should always make a point that they should hear about those devotees who are constantly engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, in whose heart is filled with the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Hearing about such kind of devotees will inspire us to take up bhakti very seriously. So, with that intention, Vidura is requesting. Swayambhu Manu is one such great devotee whose heart is filled with the lotus feet of Supreme Lord only. So, I want to hear about him. So that one day, by constantly hearing about him, my heart also will be filled by Lord's lotus feet. That was the intent. Without hearing about the Lord and his devotees, knowledge of the most Lord person is useless. We may hear so many other things. We may spend a lot of time in relation to so many other topics. But unless until we hear about the great devotees continuously, all our hearing, all our knowledge of other topics is all not useful so much. So in that way. So with this verse, Vidura is telling that our goal should be to hear about great devotees. So in that way. The goal of a person engaged in studying the scripture from the mouth of Guru, in which there is long efforts, is praised by the great devotees. So that means when we are hearing, when we are studying, when we are trying to understand some Shastra, it should be done with some efforts. If it is something is done as upar, it is not recognized or not glorified by anybody else. But when we do it something with the efforts, full of efforts, that is considered some a meaningful effort, and that will be glorified by other devotees. Other goals are condemned. What is that goal which is worth achieving? It is hearing and chanting of the qualities of a person in whose heart exists the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. So, what should be our cherished goal? To hear about some people, some great devotees whose hearts are filled with the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, like Hanumanji. His heart is filled with the lotus feet of Lord Ram, like Garudji, whose heart is filled with the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, and like the Pandavas who always think about Lord Krishna only, like the Vrajavasis whose life and soul is Lord Krishna himself. So we need to hear about all these great devotees. The more we hear about them, the more we come closer to Supreme Lord. So that is how here Vidura is telling that I want to hear more and more about Swayambhu Manu. So I will also become one day a great devotee like Swayambhu Manu. So that was the intent. So then, hearing this inquiry from Vidura, what did Maitreya do? Sukadeva Goswami is telling. Iti Bruvanam Viduram, sorry. Iti Bruvanam Viduram Vinitam
इति ब्रुवाणं विदुरं विनीतं
Sahasrashirshnascharanopadanam
सकश्रशिष्णाश्चरणोपदानं
Prahrishtaroma Bhagavat Katayam
प्रकृष्टरोमा भगवत्कथायां
Praniyamano Munirabhyacheshta.
प्रणीयमानो मुनिरभ्यसस्ता. Translation. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna was pleased to place his lotus feet on the lap of Vidura because Vidura was very meek and gentle. The sage Maitreya was very pleased with Vidura's words, and being influenced by his spirit, he attempted to speak.
Srila Sukadeva Goswami said, Maitreya, his hair standing on end, inspired by Vidura, began to speak topics of the Supreme Lord to humble Vidura, who had acted as the pillow for the feet of the Lord and who had just spoken. There are two things are mentioned here. Just by hearing the above inquiry from Vidura, the Maitreya's hairs are standing on hand. So Maitreya became so happy looking at Vidura's eagerness to hear about great devotees. And Maitreya felt that, so Vidura asking this question not to become a great devotee himself. He is actually asking this question as a compassion to me, because Vidura is already a great devotee. He is asking me like that so that I will be able to speak about great devotees. While speaking, I will also hear myself and I will become such a great devotee. So Maitreya thinking that it is for my deliverance, Vidura is asking such a question. How fortunate I am to have the association of Vidura. So like that, he is feeling so fortunate and his hair standing on end. And so Vidura might say that, how can you say that I am a great devotee? No, I am not a great devotee. I am a simple person. I'm not at all a devotee, sir, like that Vidura might say. But Maitreya said that, you may say like that, but I know what kind of great devotee are you. When Lord Krishna came to Hastinapur, he only stayed in your home and he would sleep on your thighs, accepting them as the pillow. Lord Krishna would actually sleep on the thighs of Vidura, accepting the thighs of Vidura as pillow. That Lord accepted Vidura to be like that. Generally, the children sleep on the mother's lap. So, like that, Lord Krishna, considering himself to be a small kid in front of Vidura, so Vidura is like the uncle for Lord Krishna. Like Vidura, Pandu, and Dhritarashtra are of same age as Vasudeva. So, Lord Krishna is exchanging the parental affection with Vidura. Just like a small kid sleeps on the lap of mother or father. Similarly, though Krishna is very old, when he visited Hastinapur many times, he was like quite old, many years old. But still, as a small kid, he was sleeping on the lap of Vidura, accepting Vidura's feet as a pillow, and he would sleep. So Maitreya is saying, and you may say externally out of etiquette that you are not a devotee or a small devotee or something like that. But what kind of devotee you are? What kind of devotee you are can be understood from this one act of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So you are asking this question about hearing about great devotees for my purification. So like that, he says. Vidura acted as the pillow for the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, a farm with 1,000 heads, so that the Lord could relieve the worries of Vidura. Sahasra Shirshnas Charanopadan. So here the Lord slept on Vidura so that the Vidura's worries can be removed. Basically, after the Shantiduta episode and then during that time, where Lord Krishna rested in the house of Vidura, Vidura was worried, what will happen, what will happen. So Lord Krishna, by sleeping peacefully, indicated that don't worry, everything will happen correctly only. So something like that. So Vidura became peaceful. In Mahabharata, it is described that Lord ate his meal at Vidura's house and slept, keeping his feet on Vidura's lap. His feet or his head, whichever, both are okay. Lord Krishna might have kept his feet also, Lord Krishna. So it's like that we can say. So Lord Krishna, he took his meal and he slept. So while sleeping, Vidura came and he began to do massage. So while doing massage, Vidura kept Lord's feet on his thighs and then doing massage. So in that way also. Or Lord Krishna kept his head on the lap of Vidura and slept. So either way, Lord Krishna treated Vidura as would say that a small kid treats the parental affection. So this is the kind of affection that is there between Vidura and so like that. So this is the great bonding between the great devotee Vidura and Radha Krishna that is indicated in this verse. So like that, we should always eager to hear about great devotees, such kind of great devotees. When we hear about them, our desire to follow in their footsteps will increase, and we become steady in our practice of bhakti. So like that. So Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. We'll stop here. Hare Krishna. Bhakti Gopi Mataji, kindly mute. Any devotee has any question before closing for the day?
Oh, Prabhuji.
Okay. Other devotees?
Prabhuji, one question that I had, like you mentioned about Shatrupa and Swayambhu Manu, that they appeared from Lord Brahma. The Praja of Swayambhu Manu had appeared previously before him. I mean, from Brahmaji or how?
From Brahmaji only already some human species already appeared. So later on, from 6th verse onwards, we'll study that. That topic will be explained in this chapter. So when Swayambhu Manu and Satarupa appeared, the both of them will approach Brahma. They ask, "My dear father, you created us. Please give us some service."
Okay.
So Brahma says, "Please go and take care of the human beings. Become the ruler of the entire Bhuloka and take care of the human beings." Because Brahma already created some human species already. At least we can say that he already created some male species. The females were not there. The very first female produced was Vagdevi, and then the second female was our Satarupa only. So before them there was no other females. So now Swayambhu Manu is supposed to become the ruler of the human species, which were already created by Brahma. So like that we have to see.
Thank you.
But that was only few. Not that Brahmaji created the billions and billions. He might have created some few variety, few male human beings. So in that way we can take.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Hare Priya Mataji. Okay. Any other devotees have any questions? Yeah, somebody raised their hand but not speaking. Okay. Thank you very much. If there are no questions, we'll stop here.